Point traders, what's going on? Thanks for joining me for the show. Looking at Near Protocol, NEAR on that ticker. If you haven't seen my previous video, do want to apologize for the a little long break here. Did need some personal time, but we are returning now to the crypto space with plenty of content, especially as we do approach this very nice cycle up ahead for crypto and the rest of the altcoin space here. So yeah, I do want to start off here on the Near daily chart. A lot of great things coming out of this pattern. This Near chart's just been on complete fire ever since the end of the fall here. So a lot of very nice upside, even since the very end of the kind of bear market here back in October, looking at 638% from current prices. Obviously from the current trend high right now, about $9 level, we are pulling back about 20%. From the bottom here, about a retracement of 33%. Definitely nothing abnormal there. If we do want to look at Fibonacci's from the low of this little pullback here to the high around the $9 level, haven't even broken the 50% retracement yet, still maintaining very nice support in between the 26 and 50 period EMA on this daily chart. So still looking extremely great right now for this Near chart. Another thing I do want to point out right now is just how we are setting up again for the next leg of the next parabolic move. So we do talk about this on the channel, how we do start to see parabolic moves, do have pullbacks, a little bit of consolidation that sets up for the next parabolic move. And then right now we are starting to set up for that again. So we do have potential for the next parabolic move, which could very well push the price of Near well over the $10 level, and probably realistically more likely if we do get the next big blow off leg for Near Protocol, we would be looking up about $12 plus. Obviously a little bit speculative, no one knows what will happen, but based on what we do typically see out of these type of patterns, they're never going to essentially run up and then have a big retracement. So this does set up for a continuation to a little bit more upside pattern here for Near Protocol, especially given the amount of obvious parabolic movement here. Now, if we did see a little bit more linear trend, that would be a little bit more of a sign that we could see something different. But typically when we do see these big parabolic moves, especially pulling back and retracing, finding these very nice supports and forming these type of patterns, we do get a very nice blow off here and a lot more continuation, especially looking at the bottom right now. Big amount of selling pressure right at the beginning was not sustainable, and we haven't seen much selling pressure here on this initial move, which did find defense and support on top of about 620 here. Now finding nice bullish volume here for the third day in a row on a nice upside move, while the rest of the crypto space is in fact still pulling back. So the big thing, still maintaining support on top of the exponential moving averages, and kind of also forming this very nice trend line here. So very nice pattern here. Right around the $6 level is our point of pullback support. But if we do look left here, very nice point of resistance that has been holding as support on this move, especially as we look at these downside trends being a very nice resistance point that we would be looking to actually blow out and see the next stage of the next parabolic move play out. Now, do want to flip over into the 2-day chart. A lot of great things to talk about this 2-day chart. And if you have been watching the channel for a little bit, you know that I do like these 2-day charts here for crypto and altcoins right now. So one of the things specifically for this 2-day chart, big notable thing is that we were holding the 50 period EMA. So we actually never saw price dip on this 2-day chart below the trend. So we know that 2-day chart trend is following the path of least resistance to the upside based on these exponential moving averages. And there hasn't been anything to give that off in terms of a reversal or a slowing down trend anyway. But do want to kind of zoom in on the most recent several days in bars here, because we do have, like we talked about, very nice closing support. So we are looking at right now on this 2-day chart closing support, kind of right around the 650 level, very nice defense of it, as well as a previous point of resistance before these very nice candles to find our current trend high right now before this shorter term pullback. Next big thing right now is just the size of this 2-day candle compared to the size of the 3 previous bearish day candles. So one 2-day candle right now that wraps up in about an hour and a half is actually going to be a very nice body, assuming it holds, that does knock out 3 bearish bars. So in 2 days, we actually knocked out with 6 days of bearish downside, and that's even with a very slight amount of increasing bearish volume. So small bodies on those pullbacks, but one nice bullish candle, very good sign. In addition, if we look at these 2 very nice bullish candles, completely engulf the bearish candle that followed it. So the point we get at here is that the selling pressure to the downside is just not as strong as the upside patterns when we do get those playing out, especially since we are holding very nice supports here. Now, I do want to pull up the RSI, Relative Strength Index, as well as the Stochastic RSI here, because we are actually down below the overbought level. And if we look at the Stochastic RSI, already got our nice bullish cross on the bottom. So if we look at the level about 2.91, last time we saw that was actually when we held defense and led to a very nice parabolic run up. So we would be expecting something like that could have potential. Now, if we look at the RSI, actually not as low as where it was previously. Right now, we are looking at the RSI at current levels, be at about 61.6. So still plenty of room to see the next run up and leg, but we also still could see a little bit more tightening range and consolidation, especially since we have been getting a little bit more of a fall off for a bullish volume power here. And we do know that we are in a little bit more of a continuation pattern. So that is still something that could end up playing out here. But we do know that right now we are defending this very, very nice zone here and showing a lot of promise for upside gains, especially after holding exponential moving average support for that close right now, which we have done previously and previously. All right, next time frame, jumping into the 4-day chart here, a little bit of a thing to look at because I do want to look at historical based on the last rally when we actually topped out here in January of 2022. Immediately following after that, we had April, and then kind of a long pullback and obviously our very long winter after that. So want to actually have the zoomed out look left right now, because if we look at the hashed line right now, this is exactly the point where we saw a lot of previous resistance as well as a big zone of kind of support and defense here. So looking at current prices, this is about where we're at right now, right around the 725 level. But if we actually turn on VPVR, volume profile visible range, we can see that there's actually not much mass until up overhead when we were actually talking about hitting about the $12 level, which was the next target. If in fact we do get a continuation on this pattern being the next leg of the next parabolic growth. So $12 would be a very nice upside target if we do in fact get that parabolic movement, especially based on a lot of decreased volume for mass based on a lot of previous trading volume. Now, obviously, this isn't a negligible amount of trading volume here and a big range and zone that we actually saw previous prices be at. So it's not going to be necessarily an easy feat, and obviously we do need to see extreme volume coming in, but when we do get the third stage of a parabolic move, that typically is when we get the max amount of hype and euphoria. And just based on how this pattern plays out and what we see out of this chart, we know that the next leg is not actually that unrealistic to think about, but it is still going to be a struggle nonetheless, and it's not necessarily guaranteed. But just based on how patterns are set up right now, if we do in fact break the 7.25 level, we would be looking at seeing a run up, assuming we get follow through up to about that level. But first, ideally, we would look at the $10 psychological being a very nice point of rally for a target that could see support and establish a very nice floor, which would then propel price up to that $12 price target like we talked about. Now, if we look at the RSI, conditions are still a little bit overbought. So on the longer term scales here, we not necessarily thinking that we're going to see a run up anytime soon. And we could actually still see consolidation a little bit longer like we had talked about, especially as we do have these exponential moving averages that do need to run up. So any potential continuation and pullback could ultimately end up seeing a price of near protocol run down to about 6.25, potentially down to about the $6 level, which is where we would expect to find a very nice longer term support, especially if this continuation pattern does start to play out for the longer term. Now, Bitcoin still has about 2 weeks left until the halving, so we're not necessarily thinking that there's going to be a ton of excitement over the next 2 weeks. And that's why these type of consolidation patterns playing out is actually a good thing, because then we do start to see the ability of cryptos and altcoins to actually have that next leg and stage of the next movement to the upside, because this part of the crypto cycle in any financial market is extremely essential to have periods of a cool down where we can actually establish support floors before seeing the next leg of upside. So nonetheless, based off of current hype and obviously the structure and setup, we're seeing Near Protocol be one of the best performers right now in the altcoin space. And like we said, that's not necessarily a guarantee that we'll see the next run up happen here in the next couple of days. And we could still potentially see a pullback still playing out for a longer term consolidation pattern, especially based off what the rest of the crypto space does. But we do know that because it is such a favorable setup right now, that the gains to the upside are probably going to be outperforming a lot of the other crypto space. and that Near protocol is still going to be one that we keep our eye on and be covering a lot here on the channel. And so with that actually is going to go ahead and wrap up our show today on Near protocol, NEAR on that ticker. If you did enjoy the show today, please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you have not done so just yet. Also, make sure to drop me any questions, comments, issues, disagreements down in the comment sections below. Do love getting back to each and every one of you. That is it for now, though, for Near protocol. So do appreciate all the love and support once again. Make sure to drop me a follow over on Twitter or X at coin_trades is the handle over there. Looking forward to chatting with everyone. That is going to do it for now, though. So stay safe, take care, everyone, and I'll catch you back in the next video.